Bill Maher is one of America's sharpest political voices and the host of HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher. He's currently on hiatus, so Attention sat down with him for his first exclusive interview during his break. Here's his reaction to President-elect Donald Trump, the future of marijuana legalization, and the war on Christmas. All right, Bill.
Hey.
What's it like to have been sued by the President-elect of the United States?
Well, right now, nerve-wracking. For me, it was funny before, and now he's a man with power. So all I could think of is if he did that when he didn't have power, what's he going to do now that he has the FBI? But, other presidents are not like this cat, I mean, George Bush hated me, and I didn't like him, but no matter how bad they were, all the Republicans, it was like a glass-bottom boat. I'm looking at those sharks, but they can't really get me. And now I feel like the shark can get me, or anybody. I mean, we're just in uncharted waters.
Is each new day like a terrible surprise with all the appointments?
Well, I mean, that for people who say we don't know what he's going to do, that's not quite true, because we do know what he's going to do, because the appointments are what he's going to do. That's the first step of an administration before they even take office. And of course, the appointments are from opposite land, for education. Someone who doesn't believe in public education. Ben Carson, for example, Surgeon General, maybe, because he was a surgeon. No, housing. Because what? He lives in a house? He's just fucking with people.
Just punking people.
Same thing like with Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
Just wanted to fuck with him. Just wants to fuck with us. Rick Perry,
who wanted to abolish
the oops dude, is in charge of the nukes. People keep saying to me, this is going to be great for you. If I'm alive, if we're all here, it's going to be great for us. I mean, if you ask me what I'm most scared about, I would say the Russia thing. Again, I said I went a little nuts before the election. I was screaming about this is a slow-moving coup. When there are factions in the government, like the FBI, who are dead set against one candidate, and they're actively working with apparently Putin. Somehow Comey and Putin are on the side. Shouldn't Comey, the FBI, shouldn't he be checking Putin instead of they're both working to elect Donald Trump?
So you think, the Russians stole the election?
Well, certainly the Russians
interfered. I mean, President Obama said that. Do you think it changed the result?
I do, absolutely, because he won by such a slim margin in a few states. I absolutely think it. I love what Obama said about, he said Reagan would be turning over in his grave. I mean, the Russia issue, to me, is the one that's going to show where the Republican Party is. Whether Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell are willing to be patriots ahead of Republicans. I mean, this is a foreign country. This is so beyond politics that attacked us. Yes, it's a cyber attack, but that's the world we live in now. If you can't get behind opposing that, you are not a patriot, and you are certainly not a good American.
Jeff Sessions, his Attorney General nominee, said good people don't smoke marijuana. In light of more states passing, are you bullish on the future of marijuana now?
I wasn't even a year ago. I remember doing an editorial on our show saying, everyone is trying to get me to, invest or somehow put my name on a
weed product.
Marijuana. They already had the names lined up. And I was like, I had one friend who went to jail way back in 2000 because, we made marijuana medically legal here in California in 1996, but the feds came in and said, sorry.
So you think he'll be raiding legal states? He has the right to.
I certainly think it's possible.
So if you had a message to marijuana advocates, what would it be under a Trump administration?
Don't piss off your old dealer. The guy you had to go and talk to before you got the weed and kind of deal with his skanky girlfriend and pretend you're interested in his stories. You might have to do that again.
Yeah,
so
we're back in those times. In light of losing the last several elections, I want to turn to Democrats. It seems like the Democratic Party is in a bit of peril right now.
Yeah, look, if you want to talk about what the Democrats have to do, there are many things. One, I would say, is go where the energy is in the party. She wasn't that. When a 74-year-old man is getting huge crowds of 20-year-olds, pay attention to that.
Who should the Democrats run in 2020?
Gavin Newsom.
Why?
Because he could win, one. Trump always says about people, he looks like he's from central casting, which is a great reason to appoint a person. But Gavin does look like he's the president. You know, people vote for a tall, good-looking guy, and he's ballsy. You know, he's been on the right end of issues here in California before they were popular. I don't see anybody in the party who would be a better candidate.
Are you personally glad Trump's still tweeting?
I mean,
Some people say take away his Twitter. Do you agree with that?
Take away. Listen to how we're talking about the man who's going to be the leader of the free world, like a toddler. I've heard that about they took it away, and then when he was good, they gave it back to him.
I think President Obama even
Mike
said.
Pence has a pocket full of treats that he done. The Twitter itself doesn't matter. What matters is the instinct to always have to retaliate to anybody who opposes you, criticizes you, challenges you. His mentality is just always to go right at them. It's just insane that he can't let anything go. He's like the pizza rat with the slice in his mouth.
Let's turn to religion for a minute. Do you think Donald Trump is an atheist?
Donald Trump is his own God. Let's be real about that. His God is him. You can't really be a person of faith if you think you are the most important person in the universe. So I don't think he gives it any thought. I don't think he gives abstract things thought like that.
Although he did say nobody loves the Bible more than I do.
He said, but that's again part of his pathology. I mean, whatever you criticize about him, not only does he come back at you to say you're wrong about that, he then assumes the mantle of the greatest. If you doubt that he's presidential, I'm the most presidential, remember he said, except maybe for the great Abe Lincoln. No matter what you said, if you said, Don, have you ever done a magic trick? I am the greatest magician in the world. What about spelunking? Oh, I'm the greatest. What is it? Exploring caves. Oh, yeah. I'm great at that.
He said this time last year that we're all going to be saying Merry Christmas again under his presidency.
Yeah. Well, see, this is a great example of something the Democrats should not react to. This is the kind of thing where the Democrats, time and again, are baited on an issue of political correctness when no one gives a fuck. I'm one of America's leading atheists. I say Merry Christmas. I don't give a shit. Don't take the bait on all this stuff.
What's your advice to Trump's opposition? How do they get through the next 4 years? What do they do?
We are still here. We're not going anywhere. We didn't go to Canada. His views on most of the issues that are important to us, like the environment, especially more than anything else, because it's the most important issue, we're not going to forget about it, and we're going to fight for. It's still a country where we won the election by almost 3 million votes. This whole, we win the popular vote and they get to be president thing has got to change somehow. For a pet project for next year, I think I'm just going to harp on why do we need 2 Dakotas? Can we just start with that? There definitely should not be 4 senators from the Dakota Territory. If there's 2 Dakotas, we should have 15 fucking Californias. Good night.